Good afternoon. For the first time, we are getting to see what Denver police saw the night that officers opened fire on a crowded street in Lodo. That happened a month ago as the bars let out, and in all, 7 people were hurt, 6 of them bystanders, but everyone survived.
We want to warn you, we are going to show you the police body cam video, and this shows police shooting a man outside a busy bar. You know, normally we would blur the video because you see a person get shot, but we just think it's important context for you to see this in its entirety. 9 News reporter Cole Sullivan has been following this story since it happened. He's joining us now with the video. Cole?
Denver police released that body camera video from 5 officers on scene, 2 different angles of surveillance video from the Larimer Beer Hall, and video from a stationary DPD camera overhead. The body camera video does not initially have audio because officers don't activate that function until just before the shooting. This all happened quickly, so we're going to take you through that video piece by piece. Again, a warning. It shows someone getting shot. The overhead surveillance video shows the initial fight that police say caught their attention. The video shows officers walking along Larimer, police say to try to stop Jordan Waddy. From this angle, you can see Waddy walk out onto Larimer with his hands in his pockets. He puts his hands up and walks back onto the sidewalk, back toward the crowd gathered just outside the Larimer Beer Hall and away from officers. The first audio begins when this officer activates his camera. Officers point their guns and fire. Now let's slow down the video from the front officers' perspectives. Waddy appears to be trying to pull something out of his pocket. Police say this is a gun in his hand. Waddy's lawyer says from this view you can see his client throw that gun and put his hands up. His lawyer says before officers shoot. Keep in mind, this happened within a few seconds. As police fire 7 shots in all, the crowds leaving the bars take cover. DPD says Waddy and 6 other people were hurt. Police said today they are responsible either directly or indirectly for all of those injuries. Waddy's lawyer says his client was in a, quote, surrender position before officers fired. He says it's a miracle Waddy isn't dead. Late today, the district attorney announced she will ask a grand jury to open an investigation into what happened.
That step is an interesting step in and of itself, Cole. The idea of convening a grand jury to look into this instead of the DA taking direct action?
It is, and it allows more folks to have eyes on this before they move forward with the case.
All right, Cole, much more to come on this story. Thanks. We've been dealing with so much rain lately, and we see the gray skies up above, but actually things are starting to dry out a little bit.
I know, and like you said, Tom, it almost felt like a Seattle type of day, at least in the Denver metro. This rain has not let up, but I know we're also dealing with some flooding in different areas, so let's get straight to the expert, Kathy, tracking it all for us.
Hey, Alex, you know what? We have not had a cool day like this since June, and to have weather where temperatures are in the 60s and 70s in August is a little bit unusual. And 1 to 3 inches of rain from many areas in the past 2 days, and right at the heart of the evening rush, of course. And we're still dealing with that out there this afternoon. So let's take a look. We do have traffic moving along fine. A gray day out there, heavy rain still on that I-70 corridor as travelers make their way in and out of the Johnson-Eisenhower Tunnel. Some of the rain reports are really unbelievable. This morning we had some flash flooding in the North Metro area, Broomfield, Lafayette, Erie. These areas 2 to 4 inches of rain this morning. Very unusual to have a flash flood warning during the early morning hours here along the Front Range. These numbers are pretty amazing. We're still tallying them. Almost 3 inches in Aurora, Roxborough with 2.6, 2.6 in Lone Tree, Parker almost 2.5, Cherry Hills Village 2.2. And look at the numbers, 70 degrees in Denver. That's almost 20 degrees cooler than average, and I haven't heard one person complain about that. A lot of moisture feeding in from the southwest, but starting to arc that plume off to the east and starting to drop further south. And that means that western Colorado, the southern half of the state, will see additional showers while the northern half of the state starts to dry out. Concerns in and around the Pine Gulch burn scar, flash flood warning out for Garfield County. We're monitoring that area pretty closely. Flash flood watch on I-70, Eagle, Aspen Vale, Glenwood Springs. These areas seeing some heavy rain. While Denver sees a break from the rain right now, we may see an additional surge coming in from the southwest yet tonight. So we're not quite done. Don't put that umbrella away just yet. Still the chance for showers tonight, and then things really start to improve for us as we move through the day tomorrow. Temperatures are on the cool side right now, where they will stay. And coming up in Maine weather, your weather headlines include a warmer, drier forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have all that and another check of the radar just ahead.
Today, the FBI office in Denver announced the results of a major operation that was aimed at locating children who were the victims of sex trafficking.
Nearly a dozen children were found, in addition to more than 24 children who had been reported missing. Here's 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow.
This was absolutely fantastic work by the team, which resulted in a real impact on the lives of some of our most vulnerable victims.
The FBI says Operation Cross Country took place nationwide from August 4th to August 6th. Here in the metro area, more than 40 law enforcement agencies across the Front Range took part.
The Denver field office located more victims than any other FBI field office across the country.
When it was over, the FBI says they located 11 child victims of sexual exploitation in the Denver area. Their average age, 13 years old.
In one instance, over the 3-day period, a minor was recovered, and the team was able to administer Narcan to save her life after she ingested fentanyl.
In addition to the 11 children who were located in Metro Denver, the FBI says they also identified 6 of the people who were trafficking the children. So far, 2 of them have been arrested on unrelated felony warrants.
It's imperative to recognize that we're holding these monsters accountable and we're making sure that their victims are receiving the services necessary.
In 2012, the Denver FBI established a permanent task force focused on child exploitation and human trafficking. Since then, they say about 700 children have been recovered. Tom and Alex.
Median age of 13, that's hard to get over.
Deeply disturbing.
All right, Matt, thank you. In other news this afternoon, the U.S. Department of Education is forgiving federal student loans of more than 200,000 ITT Technical Institute students nationwide. That means more than 2,400 borrowers in Colorado will get some relief. Colorado, along with 24 other states, asked the Department of Education to forgive loans for students they say were misled by the school. The filing said the school misrepresented how much graduates could actually make. The department will forgive almost $4 billion in student loans overall. That includes $46 million for Coloradans.
As we all await the new Casa Bonita, whenever it does come about, lawyers for the new owners of Casa Bonita now are suing Lakewood in Jefferson County. They're trying to stop some of their renovation plans from being made public.
Yeah, the trouble with this is some of what they want to protect is already out there. Last week, Lakewood released blueprints, plans, and permits to 9 News after we filed a request through the Colorado Open Records Act. They detailed at least $12 million worth of repairs and upgrades at the restaurant. Of the 800 pages of plans, the suit only applies to what it refers to as sensitive building materials. That includes layouts for new security cameras, which the city already released as part of the Cora request. Attorneys say that information could be, quote, used by someone intent on doing mass harm in a public space. In a statement today, Lakewood said some documents provided to 9 News are involved in the litigation, but the suit does not impact 9 News or the documents released last week. Last week, we agreed to remove one document from the original article after the restaurant's lawyers expressed some concern about employee safety.
This afternoon, President Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act.
And this is what it means for your wallet. The plan could save you money if you're trying to go green. It has tax credits for things like solar panels, energy-efficient windows, and heat pumps. It also extends credits for electric vehicles. Those investments could lead to long-term gas and utility savings. This bill also affects health care. If you get an enhanced federal premium subsidy for Obamacare, it'll now last through 2025. If you're a senior, you might see lower prescription costs. That's because Medicare will be allowed to negotiate certain drug prices. Economists disagree about whether the Inflation Reduction Act will actually reduce inflation. Some Republicans say that's really why they were opposed to the measure.
So exactly why did investigators want the FBI to search former President Donald Trump's house in Mar-a-Lago last week? Well, that's what some politicians as well as some media outlets are trying to find out.
They want what's called the probable cause affidavit to be released. And the federal magistrate judge who approved the search warrant will consider the issue Thursday. Justice Department officials don't want it released because they say they need to protect witnesses and keep grand jury proceedings confidential. The search was an evidence-gathering step in a national security investigation about presidential records located at Mar-a-Lago. And the FBI ended up recovering 11 sets of classified documents, including some materials marked as top secret. That's one of the highest levels of classification.
Another legal setback for conspiracy theorist Alec Jones yesterday. A federal bankruptcy judge in Connecticut ruling the penalty phase of a defamation lawsuit against him can move forward. The case is filed by relatives of Sandy Hook shooting victims. Jones was convicted of spreading lies that the deadly shooting was in fact a hoax. Jury selection had already gotten underway in Connecticut when Jones filed the now denied motion to have that case transferred to a federal bankruptcy court. And the move also comes just days after a Texas jury ordered him to pay $45 million in damages to the family of one victim. Well, today's a big day for those who love the legacy of the Denver Broncos. Today, a committee is deciding which 3 out of 12 senior candidates will be presented to the Pro Football Hall of Fame Selection Committee for induction with the 2023 class. And the most notable of these players, as far as Broncos fans are concerned, is Randy Gradishar, the man in the middle of the great Orange Crush defense that took Denver to its first Super Bowl. Of course, Broncos fans have howled for years that number 53 belonged in Canton. Now, with the push to get a logjam of senior candidates right through, Gradishar finally has the chance to take that spot in his home state of Ohio. While the selection of those 3 players is taking place today, the official announcement won't happen until tomorrow morning.
Well, many of you might be wondering if you should get the monkeypox vaccine or not.
So our medical expert, Dr. Paul Coley, is going to join us, taking a look at that, as well as talking about treatment and prevention. It's coming up. Also, new details about a COVID-19 booster coming from the White House today and what this means if you're still waiting to get your next shot.
Giving you another live look outside. Gray skies, still some rain coming down in areas. Kathy Schracknit all. We'll be right back.